Welcome everybody, my name is François Letarte and this is my channel JDRD30, a channel about tabletop role-playing games. Today, it's RPG Day 2015 question number 2 about the Kickstarted, the game that I'm the most satisfied of. I don't have a big story into crowdfunding stuff. Actually, I have backed 7 projects since I started that. 2 of them is my most satisfying ones, but I'm quite satisfied with every one of them so far. The first one I've backed was Beyond the Pit, which was a monster compendium for advanced fighting fantasy. Compendium that was waited for since almost 30 years. You know, the fans of the game book series were waiting for this book for that long, and well, that book is made for the role-playing games, but if you are a game book fans, it's a very useful guide. I've backed the Adequate Commander, which is a guide to play commanders for Pathfinder. I've backed Sorcerers of Autocratik, which is a D6 system based, the same D6 system from West End Games. You play sorcerers in some kind of a desert world. It's published by Orion Games, and another game from Orion Games that I've backed called Humanish. You play some kind of it's kind of a vampire werewolf type of game using the phase rip game system. You know, the phase rip coming from that old role-playing games. You know, very efficient game system for, it was well made for superheroes, but I have a feeling that it can work well into a vampire type of a campaign. But you know, my most satisfying project that I've backed, the first one is it was not on Kickstarter, it was on its French counterpart called Ulule, and it's called Titan, which is the French version of the Titan book that was published 30 years ago, which was a guide for the fighting fantasy world. Now it's translated in French, and it's for the French version of advanced fighting fantasy called Défis, Fantastiques. And I'm very glad to have this book in French. You know, my main language is French. Probably most of you have guessed, and for me it's easier to read. It comes with a campaign that wasn't in the original book of Titan, and I'm very glad. You know, I had a drawing from the main illustrator of the book thanking me for backing the book, so I'm very, very lucky guy. And it came with some goodies. You know, it came with a bunch of spell cards, which in that you have the sorcerer spells, the major magic spells and the minor spells, which is very handy in game. You know, you don't have to flip through the book. You have all the spells on cards in front of you, and it goes very well. And it came also with those gorgeous maps, which wasn't published before. You know, these are all new maps of the fighting fantasy world. I can show you some of them. You know, this map is the old world. Just want to show it to you. And you know, the map is very gorgeous, all in French, so it's very useful for my French game of that. Of course, we have there are 3 continents in that world. There are maps for every one of the 3 continents, and we have a world map of all 3 continents together. You know, the Valencia, old world, and cool, very gorgeous map. And one of them is a very useful one if you want to take the fighting fantasy game books as a reference. It's the same map as the one I've showed you just before, but it comes with the location of where those books takes place. You know, if we take the example of Okay, let's say we take La Sorcière des Neiges, Cavern of the Snow Witch, something like that. It takes place here. Okay, so we know about where those adventures took place. All the fighting fantasy books. So I'm very happy with that project, and it's a very useful one. Now I'm using all of this into my games, and yeah, my games are just getting better with those tools. And another project that I have backed on Kickstarter, which I'm very satisfied, is this one, How to Game Master Like a Fucking Boss, which is simply a guide about game mastering, written by Avenger Satanis. Well, it's very pleasant to read. And the guy just shared with us his vision on how to game master, how he does it, and why he's successful in doing it. It's like having him in your lounge talking to you about that. It's some kind of a, well, I'm reading it right now, and it feels like if you were having a coach telling you how to do your stuff. But it's very inspiring. It's very pleasant to read. The guy just speaks his mind through a great number of short articles about many things. You know, he talks about everything, but for now, everything I've read so far is very inspiring. So I'm very pleased with that one, and I recommend it. It's very fun to read. All the links for those products will be below, of course. So it was the second question for the RPG A Day 2015 series of questions. So feel free to comment and like if you want. So my name is François Letarte, and up to next time, have as much fun in your life as in your games. Goodbye.